Yo, what is good, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy Xblick right here. Now, as you guys can see, this is the second installment of What If Deku was isekai'd to pretty much that time I got reincarnated into a slime. So, if you guys do enjoy this, then be sure to subscribe, like, whatever you want to do. I can't force you to do anything, but just, yeah, if you guys want to do it, then that'll be absolutely amazing, and it will make my day just that much better. So, anyway, hope you guys do enjoy this. If you want to see any other what ifs, just probably put it back in the discussion area, or comment on a video and just give me ideas, and I will be sure, if I like the idea, I will get it out to you. But I've still got a lot of what ifs that I'm going to be doing anyway. I've just got a massive list. So, anyway, I do hope you guys do enjoy this, and just get ready for What If Deku was isekai'd to the Tensei world. So, where we pretty much left off from last time was Napoleon, his entire family and kingdom, and the entire city, village place that he was at, was attacked by the kind of holy knights and those guys. And pretty much he escaped with his personal guard, and they trained for 10 years or so. And they became big bounty hunters and heroes, taking on quests from different kind of taverns and different cities and villages, and doing them, and slowly getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And at this point, later on, Napoleon and his kind of mentor, fella Cyrus, they got tricked, and Cyrus was killed. Napoleon killing those people, and later on becoming stronger and stronger as he started doing quests for the Dwargon Kingdom, and meeting the dwarves, meeting Kaijin and his brother and the three brothers, until he met Rimuru Tempest. And where we last left off, he has just left the kingdom of Dwargon on the way to the village that Rimuru is controlling. So, or not controlling, but, you know, the leader of. So anyway, let's get straight back into the story. So we're going to continue the story off with when Napoleon and Rimuru and all of those guys are heading back to the village. As pretty much Napoleon and Rimuru talk about their skills, and so Napoleon asks Rimuru like about his entire history and how come a slime is able to be more powerful than him, pretty much. So Rimuru explains his entire backstory, excluding the Veldora bit, because he doesn't really want to give away to the fact that he freed Veldora. So anyway, that all happens, and yeah. So, on the way, Napoleon just decides, do you know what, I may be retconning this from the last episode, or the last part, but I'm saying it now. So, he just decides, do you know what, just name me. And Rimuru's like, but like, aren't you already named, dude? And Napoleon's like, yeah, but like, you're strong, so if you're my master, then, well, that's pretty cool. So, Rimuru names Napoleon again, so then he's double named. But yeah, so at this point, I'm retconning this again, but at this point, he is now at 250,000 plus kind of power level or whatever. So on the way, they talk about their skills, and Napoleon pretty much explains all of his skills that he knows of. So his skills, like the intrinsic skills, Feed off the Sun, Child of Solon, and Natural Flame, explaining them how Feed off the Sun is able to be pretty much photosynthesis, Child of Solon being more powerful during the day, and Natural Flame having a natural affinity for fire abilities. His extra skills and all that, his helio chains, pretty self-explanatory. Explosive flames, which is kind of just explosions. Heat wave, which is a giant kind of shockwave of heat and fire that severely burns anybody that comes into contact with it. And control flame, which is kind of just him having perfect pyrokinesis, being able to control any flame that isn't kind of magic flame at this point. He also has replication, which is pretty self-explanatory, able to split himself apart. He can only do a couple of replications though, around 2 or 3. He has ranged barrier, which is pretty self-explanatory, just a barrier. Fire domination and firestorm. Firestorm is a hurricane of white fire that pretty much erases anything that comes into an around 3 meter radius of it. It can also kind of override any fire resistance over a short period of time, or a low level fire resistance. If you're Rimuru Tempest, then it will do nothing to you. But yeah, anyway, it does turn his fire hair white when it is used. And his unique skill, Burning Fury, which is an automatically activated kind of ability when he gets blindingly raged. So it is kind of like, it's based off, if you guys have seen the Dragon Ball Broly movie, it's kind of like Broly's rage from that film. And so yeah, the user immediately gets a 2 times buff from any kind of wherever he was at, and it pretty much the longer it's active, the multiplier increases rapidly. It pretty much it increases depending on the damage received, and the more damage, the quicker kind of the multiplier increases. He also has a sort of ultra instinct kind of reflexes where it is very hard to hit him. It's near impossible to hit him. He also has ultra speed regeneration and damage absorption. So that's the explanation of his unique skill, Burning Fury. So he explains all of those abilities, and Rimuru explains his abilities and that kind of stuff. And Rimuru asks him, like, hey, what kind of race are you? Like, I know that you're a Solarian, but I've never heard of you guys. And so he explains to them that pretty much his family and his entire kingdom was pretty much murdered. So they were murdered by the Holy Kingdom, or not Holy Kingdom, but the Holy Church, and he kind of has a burning hatred for them. So yeah, he sees that and he's like, man, like, that ain't it. So he talks about that and how his family was killed and how their abilities are, and how their kind of belief and how they were created by pretty much the sun. So they are the children of the sun. And yeah, so on the way, Napoleon does meet Gobta, and he gets to know him, seeing him as quite a funny character. He sees him as kind of annoying, but he's quite a funny fella. He sees him as a bit of a meme, really. So yeah, they do arrive at the village. Later on their travels, they do arrive at the village, and Napoleon and the dwarves do meet the goblins and the wolves of the village. And yeah, so that all happens. And pretty much a few weeks pass and Napoleon upgrades his heat sense, which is inside of the natural flame, into the skill magic sense, which is what Rimuru has, the perfect magic sense. He trains some goblins also across the time and helps them in combat and abilities to help with defense of the village. He helps build up more housing and construction. And he also comes up with a kind of sword design with Kaijin. Along the way, he does also spar with Rimuru, and I'm not gonna lie, he gets absolutely slapped. Like, he gets wiped. It's not even a contest. Napoleon just decks this kid. But yeah, so he does that a couple times, and he does get a lot stronger from it. But yeah. And unlike everybody else, he does like to sleep outside on a hammock, or on a hammock, as it's just a lot better, and he can be on a lot more guard if he's not trapped inside. He likes to be outside in the trees. And yeah, so he's lives on a hammock just outside of the kind of tree area, or yeah, the tree range, and he can move it whenever the kind of outskirts get expanded. Yeah, so he does go out to hunt some strong creatures, and yeah, like during that he just goes out for hunting and gets a lot stronger things. He takes down some bull deer, some of those night spiders and all of them, and yeah, so he brings them back. And one day, while he's out on the hunt, to kind of just get stronger, and he kills more creatures, and yeah, so different spiders and beasts and all that. He hears a kind of a group of people screaming, and they're screaming as he hears some weird ants, if he hears it right. Yeah, some ants. As he goes to check it out, and he sees that there's a group of adventurers running away from this giant horde of giant ants. As he sees one of the kind of adventurers, one in a white cloak, turning around, drawing their sword, as he sees them, as they ignite the sword and bring out a torrent of orange fire, bursting towards a lot of the incoming insects, as he sees her just slicing them up, stabbing them, burning them, until one of them sneaks up behind this adventurer, as he sees they won't be, or he sees that they kind of just drop down, as he feels a strange presence. He feels like there's something, just a stronger being inside of that person. As he sees them drop down to the floor, he can't just stand around and do nothing. So as the adventurers turn around and tell the person, they scream out, "Shizu, what are you doing? Come on, do something!" As a giant torrent of white fire comes along and incinerates the incoming ants. As they see a person come out with just white, flaming hair that slowly turns back into blue flaming hair, as he goes around and just beats on these men. He just beats on these ants. He just sends them to the grave. He gives them the 1-2, as they just getting absolutely smacked. But as he's fighting them, he turns around and he finishes off the final one. He sees that there's one ant about to attack this downed adventurer, as he is about to pretty much prep himself to go after this final ant, he sees a black kind of flash up in the sky. So he immediately stops himself. He stops himself and prepares himself for what's going to happen as a giant black lightning bolt strikes the ant, ending its career. As the ant just gets murdered and dies on pretty much impact immediately. As out from the smoke comes a slime who says, "Wow, that black lightning's really nothing to mess with. Should probably be more careful with it." As he sees that, or he's kind of got the mask on their head, as one of the adventurers like recognize, like, "Yo, it's a slime. Like, what the hang? Like, it's a slime." As Rimuru pretty much states, he's like, "Yeah, I'm a slime. You got a problem with that?" He's like, "Nah, I've just never heard one talk before." He's like, "Yeah, fair enough." Napoleon's like, "Lord Rimuru, you don't have to dirty yourself with these things. Like, you do know I did have that, right?" As Rimuru's like, yeah, but oh well. I was there. I was ready. And gotta make a cool entrance, right? Napoleon's like, damn. It's so true. If you guys got that reference, that'd be cool. Yeah, so he, they kind of introduce themselves like, "Yo, like, I'm Napoleon, this is my master Rimuru." As the same kind of conversation goes along as normal, as they go off and go back to the village, with Napoleon going into the forest momentarily and comes back to the village holding up dozens of perfectly cooked beasts surrounded and chained up with his helio chains in the sky. As he puts that down, boom, and the cooks get ready for a feast. And yeah, so around 10 minutes later, he had Rimuru go on and see Rigurd as he explains the situation, saying, "Yeah, like, these guys, they be kinda hungry though. like they be inhaling their food." So he is like, "Yeah, sorry, I gave them food and they turned into giants. They just turned into animals. They started ripping into their food." As he's just like, apologizes, like, "I'm sorry, Lord Rimuru. I'm sorry, like, they're, strong, like, they're just there, like, they're just eating, and, yeah, just not very cool, so, I've lost my train of thought, sorry. Yeah, so they all go in as kind of Rigurd announces Lord Rimuru. He's like, "Here we have our glorious leader, Lord Rimuru." As they're like, that's pretty cool, that's pretty cool. So Rigurd announces Rimuru, saying, "Lord Rimuru, blah blah blah." Is Napoleon says, "Greetings to you all. My name is Napoleon. I am I'm subject to Lord Rimuru." I don't know if that sounds good or bad, but yeah. I'm one of Lord Rimuru's loyal followers. As one of the people says, "Oh, hi there. I'm Aaron, and this is Cavall and Guido." As the person in the white shirt says, "I'm Shizu." Is Rimuru's got his whole thing like, "So the person I'm destined with, his name's Shizu. Wow." yeah, so that all happens as yeah, they all pretty much thank them for saving their skins. For like, they ask like Napoleon, like, what was that fire skill they used? It was white, and they could feel the heat from there. He's like, oh, that was my kind of special skill called Firestorm. It's a fire ability. It's quite strong. So like, yeah, I saw that. And yeah, so they all kind of go talk to each other, and as kind of that all happens, Shizu kind of leaves and goes up to a nearby hill. As Napoleon's acquainting himself with the others, talking about like, yo, like, how's it going? My name's Napoleon. It's pretty cool. And they all talk about what's going on, like about this giant kind of village, and or not very village, but this goblin village, as kind of they say why they're there, saying like, yeah, we're here from the guild's quest guild master to check out like all the different things, or the monster activity that's been going around since Veldora left. As yeah, everybody's just looking around like, yeah, it's pretty cool. And like Rimuru just says like, yeah, that'll be fine, shouldn't it? Like, we're just a humble little goblin village, should be fine, right? Yes, they're like, yeah, it should be fine, it should be all good. And Napoleon's like, yep, cool. And yeah, so they all start talking, just get to know each other, as Rimuru goes up to the hill and starts talking to Shizu, as that whole conversation goes to canon. As Shizu has her little heart attack thing again. Oh goodness. Sorry about that. Yeah, Shizu has her whole heart attack kind of Ifrit thing again. As, yeah, so that all happens, and kind of Napoleon goes up with Kaijin to get Lord Rimuru, as Kaijin's like, Lord Rimuru, we need some help with something. As Rimuru's like, yeah, sure was. Napoleon's like, they need your help with a location of a building or something like that. As Rimuru's like, okay, I'm coming down. As Kaijin and Rimuru, they walk down, as Napoleon just snickers at their little remarks. As Shizu like says to him, he's a good guy, you know. As Napoleon's like, yeah, I know. He's a good leader. I wouldn't really have anybody else be my master. I wouldn't let anybody, just anybody. They'd have to be strong, and I'd have to just completely have complete and utter faith in them, and I have complete and utter faith in my master Rimuru. Yes, she like agrees. She's like, yeah, from what I've seen, he's a pretty cool guy. Yeah, so Napoleon just gets straight to the point. He just says, yeah, it's pretty cool. You're Shizue Izawa, aren't you? As she's kind of taken back. She's like, how did you know about this? As he's like, the fighting style, the fire abilities, and frankly, the fact that you've got a fire spirit inside of you. She's just taken back. She's like, what? What? How do you know about this? Like, she asks, like, how do you know about that? He says, I've felt spirits before, and I've felt a fire spirit before. Not the one of your caliber, but I have felt a fire spirit before in other travelers and different kind of people and adventurers. But yeah, nothing as strong as you do. From what I can tell, it's a like legendary spirit. I just can't have my finger on it. She says, yeah, it's I have the fire spirit Ifrit inside of me. She's like, that makes sense, you know. So that's why you couldn't control it. Like, why couldn't you control it? Like, you look in your prime. You know, you should have relative ease in controlling him. And she states, like, it's from, like, in terms of her looks, like, she's in her 20s maybe, but in terms of her age, she's decades old. She's, like, in her 60s or 70s. Is Napoleon, he's like, huh? What? He's like, he's struggling to think about this. He's like, nah. So yeah, she kind of talks about that, and Napoleon just reassures her. He just says, like, don't worry, like, my Master Rimuru, if Ifrit does come out, if you do lose control around here, like, you'll be fine. Like, he is definitely strong enough to fight Ifrit on his own, and with me here as well, like, I have perfect immunity to any fire-based attacks, so I can't get hurt by him, and if I do, it's gonna be very minor. Like, it won't hurt a lot. He can't injure me. As she says, like, yeah, that's pretty okay. That's good. Yeah, so he just reassures her. He like assures her that they are fine. If she does lose control, they shall be fine. Like, sorry, just yawned. Yeah, he just reassures her they will be fine. If she does lose control, they are strong enough to defeat Ifrit. So yeah, the next day, they kind of go out and say their farewells, and she's like, yeah. So they go out, and kind of Napoleon. He's bright and early. He's bench pressing like 50 tree logs. No, I'm just kidding. I'm playing with you. But, yeah, so he's out there as he's, like, helping all the guys as they're all talking. Sorry about that. Yeah, so they all say their farewells as they're all waiting as, yeah, Napoleon did see kind of Shizu go back up onto the hill, but he decides, do you know what, let her have her space, you know, all goods, because he's an early bird. He gets up early, since he's out in the middle of nowhere. He kind of, well, not in the middle of nowhere, but, you know, out in between some trees, no cover or anything. He hears the birds, and he's awake when the birds are awake, so he does some training, just shadow boxing or whatever, and some training, sword training, and all of that is, yeah, so he kind of does all that, and as they all leave, as they start to do leaves, he has his senses go off again, like, as they're all kind of leaving to do their thing, when Shizu and Eren get out, is they're like, yeah, that's pretty cool, is kind of Napoleon, he senses Ifrit coming out, and he's like, no, damn, no, it's like that's what he's thinking anyway. It's Rimuru, he sees him just sweating bullets, like, he is sweating bullets as Rimuru's like, Napoleon, like, what's going on? And he's like, she lost control. And that is where I'm ending off this epic what if. If you guys do enjoy this, then, as I said, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe. It doesn't do anything apart from helps analytics and helps my self-esteem just get that little bit higher. So, anyway, I hope you guys do really enjoy this part, or did enjoy this part, and yeah, there should be another video coming out very, very soon, as I've recorded these two at the same time. So, anyway, I hope you guys really did enjoy this, and have an awesome day.